The best chapter of the year. 1155 has exhilarating action, a huge lore drop, it punishes arc skippers, and it has the biggest face-off in all of One Piece. If you don't want to be spoiled on this, then do not watch further. It starts with Loki answering Rock's questions that this is Elbaf, but Harold is on a voyage and he says it's his pops, and Rox immediately clocks that Loki is his son. He tells Loki, hey, can you go back home and tell them you're gravely injured so that Harold will come back? He doesn't like being ordered around. He prepares to attack Rox. Rock's swordsmanship is hyped here. It says it's like a giant hammer. It blows away anything in its vicinity. We see Rox counter Loki, and Loki just gets dismantled. Rox starts laughing, and it's because Loki is now seriously hurt, so Harold has a reason to come back. The narrator says Harold once met this man way back during the Revery that year. We're shown the Celestial Dragons are freaking out that someone has kidnapped 5 kings. And we're shown Emu saying the lives of those sovereigns can't be used to extort Mu. And then we're shown Rox in Emu's personal room saying, no kidding, but it caused chaos in the Holy Land, didn't it? This incident would be the first and the last of its kind. It seems this woman who's always with Emu is confirmed to be Gunko, which is crazy. Right here, Rox is confirmed to be inspired or affiliated with Davy Jones, which you guys have said for the longest, including Quell. Rox knew there was nothing he could do right here, so he withdrew with these words, "Wait, one day I'll be back." That is cold. The incident with Emu would never be brought to light, but there was another intruder in that Reverie that day. All the Celestial Dragons want him as a slave. He's very out of place in the Holy Land. I guess his negotiations with the world government did not go well. Everyone's blaming Rock's crimes on him. That's when Rox and Harold approach each other, and Harold realizes this is the dude who's been doing all this chaos. They immediately clash with this amazing panel. I love Harold with the reverse grip. This clash knocked anyone out in a 5-kilometer radius in the Holy Land. Rox is having fun. He wants to know Harold's name. Harold tells him his name. He's also having fun. And then Rox introduces himself and says, angle your next strike at the town over there or you're going to be enslaved. And Harold's like, what do you mean? And Rox tells him, don't ask any questions, man. He wants to know how to get to Elbaf, and Harold tells him that that direction is the New World, as Harold just jumps off the red line straight up, which is wild, and Rox is dumbfounded. Harold turns down the first invitation to Rox's crew. Later said that Rox defeated an admiral just moments before that, but the admiral did not survive, and this entire incident gave Rox a huge bounty. And this right here heavily implies that Buggy could be Rox's son, which, as you know, would be Bogard upscale, right? Bogard caught Rock's potential son. A ship carrying Celestial Dragon tribute was taken, and Rox used these funds to support the Rox Pirates activities. He also broke open the gates of justice. Until that point, Rox has only acted against the world government, but now he's targeting pirates. And here it's confirmed he used Davy back fights to form his crew, and we're showing some references to Foxy. Now it's confirmed he had to beat everyone to get his crew. Also confirms a theory I've said for the longest, that there's no hierarchy on the Rox Pirates. It's just everyone under Rox. There's no right-hand men or left-hand men. I've always said this. Shown part of his crew on their way to Elbaf. Harold has now come back to Elbaf, and he's checking on his son, Loki. Harold warns Loki not to go to the underworld, and Loki's thinking to himself, there's no way that he's actually concerned about me. Loki just doesn't think he deserves any sort of love. That's when the Rox Pirates surprise the king of Elbaf. We're then shown the spread of the Rox Pirates at this point, and they look insane. I'll talk about it in a bit. Rox is basically making his spiel again to get Harold to join his crew, and that his diplomatic efforts have been in vain. He should team up with the Rox Pirates and just get what he wants that way. Harold's like, nah, that's the old way. And Rox is like, people never change. Harold tells him, if you follow this man Rox, you'll be led to ruin, which is actually verbatim how they're described at God Valley. Shiki laughs in his face, and he's like, to think I would ever follow Rox. It seems that Stussy does actually thinks Rox's plan could be lucrative. We're shown this dude, Don Marlin, who is talking about Hachinosu, be related to Capone, Crocodile, or the Dark Kingslayer. At the very least, a God Valley matchup for him. Shown Whitebeard, Wang Ji, and this dude named Gonzui, I think is how you say it. But they continue to talk about how Hachinosu could be a good place for them to go. A bunch of criminals there that have pissed off the world government, and there's a lot of treasure that they have. The world government is going to pay them to conquer this island for them. They're just going to take all the money and keep the island, of course, because they're Rox. Rox says this is all part of his plan to take down the Navy and become the king of the world. Harold tells him, I think your enemies are a little too big, but Rox is like, I don't care. No one's ever done it. Rox tells Harold, power doesn't last forever, obviously referring to Emu. and he really wants Harold to join his crew. Harold tells him, nah, I'm the king, I can't. But Rox is like, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna be the king of the world. Clearly, Loki is inspired by Rock's dream here. We're shown as Harold continues declining the invitations, Rock's crew grows much stronger. Rock's pirates went on to make shockwaves. It looks like we're in the midst of the Rock's Pirates flashback right now, so you guys know what that means. We could be getting God Valley next chapter. It's entirely possible. So yes, this is like the highest chance of getting a Bogart appearance in the next chapter that there's ever been in the last 2 years.